What is going on, Headliner Nation? Jake, Fantasy Headliners. Hopefully everybody's doing well out there. Today we're talking about our top 20 quarterbacks here for Week 1 fantasy football. Now it's Friday, right? The Thursday night game is already over. So for me to put in Mahomes and Watson into these rankings doesn't make a whole lot of sense because it doesn't really help you for these weekend's games if that's what you're looking for. So I don't have them here in the top 20. Before the game, I had Mahomes at 1, Watson in 3. Those were the rankings that I submitted for the week. But like I said, we're going to get just into the weekend games here to try to help you make sure you set those lineups correctly. We're going to start off the bottom with our number 20 quarterback here for Week 1. And it's going to be Ryan Tannehill of the Tennessee Titans. Now, they have a matchup Monday night against the Denver Broncos. A fairly difficult matchup. However, the Broncos now, no Von Miller, no Bradley Chubb. Could be a little bit easier for Ryan Tannehill and the running game of the Tennessee Titans. That's why I have him a few spots lower here. I do expect to see a heavy dosage of one Derrick Henry early and often in this game. Got Ryan Tannehill at number 20. Number 19, Teddy B. Teddy Bridgewater here of the Carolina Panthers, and a new look offense, right? New head coach, new offensive coordinator, some new weapons. We got Robbie Anderson on the outside. We already know about DJ Moore, Christian McCaffrey, maybe Curtis Samuel, but probably not. Love Teddy Bridgewater as a game manager, right? I just don't know if his ceiling is going to be there on a weekly basis to trust him in your starting lineups. In a 2 QB league, yeah, I totally get it. It's a great matchup going up against Las Vegas. I just want to see how this offense goes and if they allow Teddy to throw the ball down the field, or is he going to be one of those dink and dunk kind of guys that, gets you 225 yards a week, maybe a touchdown or two, but that ceiling just isn't there. That's why I got him down here at number 19 here for Week 1. Number 18, Jimmy Garoppolo. He would be a lot higher on this list if I knew for sure that Deebo Samuel and Brandon Ayuk were playing football. However, I do not know that. That worries me. It kind of limits his options, right? We got George Kittle there, Kendrick Bourne, and some running backs. I mean, it just kind of worries me that he doesn't have enough options on the outside. Once those guys get healthy, though, Jimmy G is going to climb up these rankings. Number 17, Tyrod Taylor. Now, we kind of talked about a game manager earlier, right? Well, that kind of defines what Tyrod Taylor is. However, this week, I think he has a little bit more of an opportunity going up against the Cincinnati Bengals to at least put forward a solid effort. I'm looking for right around 250 yards plus. He has a little bit of that rushing upside himself, right? If he can get right around 40, 50 yards, that'll be gold for your fantasy football team. But let's be realistic. Not a whole lot of people out there planning on starting Tyrod Taylor here this week. I just think he's a fairly safe play, especially for you guys who are playing Superflex or 2 quarterback leagues. Number 16, Aaron Rodgers. Maybe the lowest he's been ranked in a long time, but it's kind of hard to really trust Aaron Rodgers, right? You see the name, you hear it, and you're just like, yes, I want Aaron Rodgers for what he did a few years ago. But if you look at last year, if you look at the start of this year, the limited weapons that he possibly has in the passing game outside of Devontae Adams, there's just a lot of question marks, right? There's a lot of games where he's going out there and disappointing fantasy owners. Do you want him to go out there and get 200 yards passing and a touchdown? That could really hurt your fantasy team. Now, is he capable of those big numbers? Yes, absolutely, 100% he is. I just feel that this week there's some better options than Aaron Rodgers. 15 is Carson Wentz, and actually he's kind of trending up my rankings right now. Why? Well, word is coming out that Jalen Reagor could be good to go. That gives him another option, right? At first, all he really had was Ertz and Deshaun Jackson. Now, don't get me wrong, Deshaun Jackson in week 1s of revenge games probably usually plays pretty good, but Jalen Reagor gives him another option there, which I really love, paired up with Zach Ertz and Dallas Goedert. So Carson Wentz is somebody who's trending up these rankings. I mean, he's starting to get some pieces back and healthy, and that's what we want to see. I love the talent of Carson Wentz. I like the matchup going up against Washington in that secondary. However, the front 7 of Washington is going to try to get after Carson Wentz. Is Miles Sanders healthy to take off some of that pressure? We may need to wait and see. Got Carson Wentz at 15. Number 14, Jared Goff. The reason I have him this high is I really expect them just to have to throw the ball a lot against Dallas. Not only to keep up in this game, but I'm not really buying into the running game as of yet being that productive. You got the rookie Cam Akers, who I believe is the most talented in the backfield, and then you also got the likes of Malcolm Brown, Darrell Henderson. What is the split going to be? How effective are they going to be? This offensive line is not great, and it could force them to have to throw all 4 quarters against Dallas on Sunday Night Football. Got Jared Goff at 14. Number 13, Matthew Stafford. The reason he's dropped down a few spots, Kenny Golladay may not play. That's something we're definitely paying attention to, and we'll keep you updated on the Saturday Night Live show when we have the most up-to-date information. But that's why I dropped him down a few spots. I don't really hate the matchup this week going up against Chicago. Chicago's fairly, a stout secondary, but I love the pieces that they have in Detroit. What I don't love is if they don't have Kenny Golladay. That is a huge hit to the value of Matthew Stafford. Got him dropped down to 13. Number 12, Derek Carr. And this could probably surprise a lot of people, but going up against Carolina with a very, lacking secondary is probably about the nicest way that I can possibly say it. Derek Carr now with the likes of a Bryan Edwards, a Henry Ruggs, Josh Jacobs in the backfield, Darren Balls to the Waller. Derek Carr, for the first time in a few years, has options to throw to. He's still a highly underrated quarterback who's going to go out this year and throw for over 4,000 yards. If he can tick up the touchdowns a little bit, a lot of people are going to be pleasantly surprised with Derek Carr. Love the weapons he's got. Got him up at number 12 here this week. Number 11, my spirit animal. It's Gardner Minshew. This dude has a great matchup going up against the Colts, but the reason it's great is because his own defense is horrendous. That's right, the Jacksonville Jaguars defense is nothing to write home about, and they're going to give up points in bunches to a lot of teams. What does that mean for Gardner Minshew? It means he's going to throw the ball a lot all year long. So the likes of a DJ Chark, heck, maybe even a Chris Thompson at times out of the backfield are going to see volume because they're going to be constantly trailing. Love that for fantasy football. Is it great for the Jacksonville Jaguars as a football team? No. But for fantasy football and garbage points, because garbage points win matchups, I got Gardner Minshew at number 11. Number 10, Cam Newton of now the New England Patriots. And yeah, I'm going to keep him right here, at the fringe top 10. I want to see him play first. However, I have a hard time believing that Cam Newton is not going to come into this season with the hugest chip ever on his shoulder, trying to prove the naysayers wrong. He looks healthy. What about his weapons? Is N'Keal Harry going to be able to separate from defenders? Is Julian Edelman healthy? Who's playing tight end? Who's the running back? Sony Michel? Is James White going to be more involved? Those are the questions we have right now with Cam Newton. But if he's 100% healthy and they kind of bring back that rushing aspect of his game just a little bit, maybe not what it was peak Cam Newton, but he's going to be a surprise for a lot of people. And I got him right here at number 10 going up against the Miami Dolphins. Number 9, Big Ben Roethlisberger, Monday Night Football, coming back in prime time. All signs pointing to him being healthy, right? Have we really seen it? No, we've seen a few training camp videos where he's out there throwing, but we haven't seen him really throw with any serious velocity on that elbow. How does it stand up? All signs pointing to him being absolutely okay. They didn't bring any other quarterbacks in this offseason, and he's got weapons aplenty to choose from. Big Ben's going to be number 9 here in week 1. Number 8, Tom Brady of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers going up against the New Orleans Saints. It's a difficult matchup-ish, right? Because the Saints defense is nothing to scoff at. However, I expect a lot of points in this game, a lot of throwing in this game. Does Mike Evans play? That's kind of why Brady's maybe down a spot or two in these rankings, is just because Mike Evans is questionable. If Evans is good to go, Brady's probably top 5 this week just due to the matchup alone against New Orleans. Had to temper expectations just a little bit in case we don't see Mike Evans out there. Number 7, Kyler Murray, Arizona Cardinals, going up against a difficult matchup for San Francisco, but his rushing upside gives him that little bit of added boost. Plus, don't forget, unless you've lived under a rock, they have DeAndre Hopkins now, which is only going to help things. This kid was a top 10 fantasy quarterback last year without DeAndre Hopkins. Now he gets DeAndre Hopkins in the second year of a Cliff Kingsbury offense. I like Kyler Murray a lot this year. This week, got him at number 7. Number 6, Matt Ryan, Atlanta Falcons. Kind of similar to what we talked about, with Drew Brees and Tom Brady. I love this division, right? Because this division is so pass heavy, and the Falcons have been pass heavy for what seems like forever. They're always among the league leaders in pass attempts, and I really don't expect it to change much this week. I mean, yeah, Todd Gurley's going to be involved in the passing game, but they're not going to overwork the guy to the point to where they don't throw as much. With guys like Julio Jones on the outside and Calvin Ridley, Hayden Hurst at the tight end position. In a matchup going up against Seattle, I can see them having to put some points up on the board, and I like Matt Ryan, got him right here at number 6. Number 5, Josh Allen, Buffalo Bills, a matchup going up against the New York Jets. Now, are the New York Jets going to be able to score any points to keep up with Buffalo? I, at this point, do not know. I mean, Adam Gase and his offense is something to, almost impossible to figure out, much less try to factor in the whole 2020 factor where nothing makes any sense. But Josh Allen, with his added rushing upside, now he adds Stephon Diggs, still has Cole Beasley, John Brown. He's got the duo in the backfield of Devin Singletary and Zach Moss, a solid offensive line and a great defense. Josh Allen could be in line for a super, super solid fantasy football year. If he can reel in that deep ball just a little bit and improve his deep ball accuracy to the likes of a John Brown and Stephon Diggs, we could be seeing a few big plays pretty regularly from Josh Allen. Love the big arm. Got him at number 5. Number 4, Russell Wilson, Seattle Seahawks, about as consistent as it gets for fantasy football quarterbacks, right? You kind of know what you're going to get every week from Russell Wilson. It's going to be right around 20 fantasy points. He's not going to overly, impress you in the rushing game, maybe like he did in years past, but he's still going to, get you 30, 40 yards or so a week, maybe. And he's got the likes of a Tyler Lockett and a DK Metcalf going up against the Atlanta Falcons, who we just talked about, that are probably going to try to put some points up on the board with the offense that they have, meaning that Seattle's going to have to throw the ball at some point. As much as they want to run the ball with Chris Carson, having Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf opens up the big play potential for Russell Wilson and the Seahawks. Got him at number 4. Number 3, Dak Prescott, Dallas Cowboys. How can we not have him in the top 3? He's got 3 wide receivers that are all probably capable of getting 1,000 receiving yards here just this season. Amari Cooper, Michael Gallup, CeeDee Lamb in a matchup going up against the Rams. Yes, a little bit difficult, right? You got Ramsey on one side, but that's the great part about having 3 great wide receivers. He has options, and don't forget, they can also include Ezekiel Elliott in the passing game a little bit more out of the backfield this season. Got Dak Prescott this week, number 3. Number 2, Drew Brees. That matchup with Tom Brady could be super high scoring. I'm looking for Brees to go out there and throw the ball more than 40 times this week, which is absolute great for fantasy football purposes. We know he's got Michael Thomas, Emmanuel Sanders, Alvin Kamara should be healthy. Options aplenty in an offense that we've seen put up big numbers before. If Tampa can keep the foot on the pedal and keep scoring points, we could have a shootout here, and I got Drew Brees at number 2. Number 1, is it a surprise? Really, I got Lamar Jackson number 1 because Patrick Mahomes has played already, so it's really no contest for number 1. The rushing upside alone for Lamar Jackson puts him at number 1. Add to the fact that we could see a breakout year from Hollywood Brown and the likes of Mark Andrews coming back, in another year at tight end, being his favorite target, could really lead to some solid weeks once again for Lamar Jackson. Got him number 1 here this week in a matchup going up against the Cleveland Browns. All right, so those are my top 20 quarterbacks here for Week 1 fantasy football. Remember, it's Friday. The Thursday night game is over, so there's no use in me putting those guys in the rankings because it doesn't help anybody here this weekend. So if you have questions, leave them down below. Don't get butthurt over rankings. So many people get butthurt over rankings. Listen, we're trying to figure out 2020, right? This is the week 1 of the NFL season, and not a whole lot makes sense in the NFL right now, but we're doing our best to make sure you have the most up-to-date and accurate information that we possibly can. We greatly appreciate your support. Make sure you check out all the other videos here. We got rankings for each and every position, and if you're looking for a little bit more detail, make sure you head over to the Start Sit videos. Those are a little bit more in-depth. These are just meant to be quick and dirty rankings to help you set your lineups for this weekend. So hopefully you had a great week, a great weekend. Looking forward to some more football. We'll talk to you later.